Welcome to the Emporia Public Schools podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Allison Anderson Harder, Superintendent. This podcast is our way to provide students, staff, parents, and community members easy access to information on a variety of topics. Below the podcast link, there is a link to an electronic form for anyone to provide feedback or ideas about the podcast you may have just listened to or to share ideas for future podcasts. Today we are talking to Dan Freeman, Director of Central Supply, and Denise Kater, Director of Food Service. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to start with questions for Dan. So we're just going to kind of roll through some questions, and Dan's going to get in the weeds on some topics, I think, or some questions. So first of all, Dan, what does the Director of Central Supply do for the school district?
Okay, I've got a short answer and a long answer. First of all, in this position, one oversees and manages the overall purchasing of services and materials, as well as creating and maintaining inventory or inventory systems for the district assets and consumable stock. And also take care of warehousing and distribution, basically in support of the district functions. So that's such as long list. Basically what we do, that entails writing of bid specifications, creation of documents to let, receive, and tabulate bids per legal requirements. We basically are operating a business within the district with our central supply program. People basically can treat us like an Amazon. We have a warehouse. They purchase online from us. We pack up their materials. They get a packing list on it. We deliver that. The products in, they get billed for. The money's transferred out of their account into ours.
And to clarify, so the people, just in case people start wanting to order from you, you're only talking about our district buildings. So just our schools and our district departments within the district.
That is correct. At one time, it did exceed what we did in the district. But yes, we have limited it to that to take care of our own operation here and our students.
And when you're talking about consumable items, you might give some examples of that. What are some items that principals and secretaries order from you?
Yes, that is just most anything that you can imagine. It's A to Z. We've got office supplies, our textbooks. We've got things for health and safety in the district. Forms for the district, anything you can imagine, we stock that would be needed in the classroom or office or for the cleaning and maintenance of our buildings.
Awesome. Thank you. What else were you? I just want to make sure that we were clarifying as we were moving forward. So what else would you like to, because you're just kind of giving an overview about what you do.
Yes. Yeah, it's a little more extensive than just the Amazon side of our operation. I also work closely with Mrs. Kater in the food service program. We manage the bid system for that program and also support that program with needed materials, things that we have to have for lunch every day, like sporks, for example, or maybe paper trays, napkins, those type of things. There's a long laundry list of those products. So we also, as part of my duties, we also have an inter-office delivery route where we're basically, I'm overseeing the 23-mile round trip daily route that we have an individual take care of. And that's for collection, dispersal, and distribution of communication documents to and from all facilities. And we also pick up and deliver U.S. mail for the central office. We also, as part of this department, we organize and maintain a district fleet of 61 copier/multifunction machines. And we support those with toner supplies, logistics, and service scheduling. We also take care of all the first aid cabinets and replenishing those in the district. I'm also responsible for creation and maintenance of the district hazardous communications program. We maintain a library of chemical safety data sheets in our buildings and all the binders in each building for those in case we have an accident with chemicals. I also take care of the hazardous and biohazardous waste removal per federal regulations, provide PPE, personal protective equipment, something that was a very important item in the last few years here with COVID. We take care of the district shredding services, that's collection, scheduling, and proper disposal of all confidential documentation. We take care of printing services for the district, forms, envelopes, and business cards. We also take care of all the new receiving of all new textbooks and curriculum materials, organizing those and getting those distributed through the district, and also picking up the used textbooks and curriculum, making sure those get properly taken care of, whether we sell them or they have to be properly disposed of. We've got programs for back-to-school supplies for each facility that we maintain and perform every year, as well as our summer team cleaning. We have a program to make sure we have all the products, so all of our staff members take care of that in the summer. And I also get down to things that maybe aren't mine, but it's so much fun I can't stand not to do it. We organize and make sure we get everything in order to get our gym floors taken care of every summer.
Awesome.
So there's more, but I think that probably.
So really, you have a pretty relaxing day every day. Is that what you're trying to say?
Right, that's right. Fun-filled, action-packed.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned interagency mail that we fondly call the pony mail. Yes. So I thought every district called it the pony mail until I went to another district and I asked them where the pony mail was, and they had no idea, and I didn't know what else to call it. So that was many, many years ago, but we call it the pony mail.
Pony, short for Pony Express. Yes.
So where is that purchasing supply department located?
Okay. Our office and our warehouse is located at 2830 West 12th here in Emporia. We share the same campus as our district transportation services. Easiest reference point finding us would be where the school buses are parked. Our building is just located northwest on the property behind where the buses are.
Well, and Dan is very organized. So if you go into the central supply, there are shelves, and it's just lots and lots of area that you do a great job of keeping very well organized. And if anybody came in to ask if there was for a certain item, you know exactly where it's at. You do a great job of that.
Thank you.
So you've talked about the bidding process and types of items. So when do you become involved in helping staff with the bidding process?
Okay. Actually, anytime. Normally, our bid requirements are anything that is equal in value to $20,000 or greater. We must go through the formal bid process to purchase for the district. There are some exceptions to that rule. Services, for example, sometimes we don't have to go that route. And we also have access to state bids, which we basically piggyback off of without having to do the documentation. If there are bids in place, we can use those means to order and purchase from also. Really, anytime we have a large purchase or maybe a specialized piece of equipment, that's always a good time to look at the bid process. Many times it's advantageous for the district that we do that. Not only for price, but to make sure we get exactly what we are needing.
Thank you. You've talked about how you really provide support to the district. So how can employees access the services available?
Okay, we try to make that as easy as possible. By picking up the phone probably is the easiest. Emailing, texting, faxing, or ordering through Skyward. Those are all means that people can get to us, everything that everyone is familiar with. And hopefully in the future, we'll have some links available on our website so people can access our services that way too.
That's awesome. And we have staff as they're ordering or they're working within a budget and they're getting approval with their principal or the director and then working with the secretary. So not necessarily just getting random, but they're getting all of that approved ahead of time.
Absolutely. Yes, we have a process.
Awesome. Well, Dan, what do you love the most about your position?
Wow, the most. Probably, even though it's everything we do, and maybe since I've rattled a few things off, people I'm sure are not aware of what we do behind the scenes. Being able to support our students and teachers without being in the front line where people can see. You know, many times there'll be a classroom activity, someone didn't think of something, and we're there. We can drop what we're doing. We can get supplies and materials, whatever it might be, within a few minutes, any of our buildings. And just the every day is a new day. It's a fast pace, constantly changing. I have people ask me all the time, well, what do you do in the summer? How can you get paid in the summer? There's nothing to do. And I always tell them that is the busiest time of the year for us. Actually, the latter part of the spring, we're ending a year, but we're also beginning the new year at the same time. It's a simultaneous act. And that being said, especially with the environment we're in now, things have changed dramatically here in the last few years, and it has been that way all the years that I've done this. But it is rewarding to be able to take care of people and know that they can depend on us. We'll be there no matter what.
Well, and Dan, you are incredibly responsive, and so whenever we've needed something in the various positions I've held, you've just always been there. So you do a great job of if somebody needs something and you can help them, you're going to figure out a way to help them. So we appreciate you being in your position.
Thank you.
And I would also like to reiterate that, right, people think that because school's out, well, there's nothing to do, but it is the busiest time sometimes
Absolutely.
because we're getting ready for the students to come back in the summer or to come back after a break. So we take advantage of those opportunities to do as much work as possible. Thank you, Dan. Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to move on over to Denise Kater, who's the Director of Food Service. So Denise, welcome. What does the Director of Food Service do for the school district?
Well, every day is different, but basically I supervise and coordinate the department's operations and ensure proper nutrition and health standards are being followed, keep up on all of the required training that is expected for us, as well as train and supervise 50 staff members.
Thank you. And not all in one building.
No. So I'm on the road quite a bit.
So where are the staff members? Where are they located? So you are, well, I guess maybe start where you are located at and then where you supervise other employees.
I'm located at Emporia High School in the central kitchen. The central kitchen has changed quite a bit since I've taken over. It used to be most of the food was made at the central kitchen and then trucked out. COVID allowed us to think outside of the box a little bit more, and we were striving, and also the building, the new buildings, the new kitchens, that's been really helpful. We've been striving to do more just on time cooking, and so we had broken up our staff into smaller groups because of COVID, and it's worked out great. So I have at least 3 cooks at each elementary school, and I think there's 7 at middle school. And we they do all of their own cooking. So now basically all of the groceries come in every day to the high school, to the central kitchen, and then everybody sends in their shopping list. Then we pick it and ship it to the school every day.
Well, you mentioned the new kitchens. So as we're thinking about that bond construction project, that was one of the main areas that if a school did not have a large enough kitchen, that was one of the areas that was addressed. So you might talk a little bit about some of the improvements that have been made from the smaller to the larger.
Oh my gosh, it's been amazing. We so appreciate it. I mean, you think about like a kitchen, like I'm just going to say, well, Walnut for one thing, where we were serving in the hallway. It wasn't ideal for anybody. It wasn't ideal for the students. It wasn't ideal for the staff or the kitchen staff as well. But now they have a nice big kitchen with storage and a dishwasher and all brand new equipment and ovens. They also, one of the things I felt strongly about is we did put a range in every building. And the reason, because we had kind of moved to hot water machines so you could have instant hot water anywhere. But when the city has had a water main break, those are no good. So we had to boil water. Well, we didn't have anywhere to boil water except an oven. So that's why we have ranges in all of our kitchens. You should be able to boil water. And plus we want our building to feel like if they want to have an event that they can, go in and use that, as long as they let us know. So, yes.
So rather than serving in the hallway, they're able to serve right from the kitchen.
Yes, right from the kitchen, and it's going great. So we're ready to get all of the rest of them done. So
We are getting close, aren't we?
yes, we are.
So speaking of meals, approximately how many meals, including breakfast and lunch, do you prepare and serve every school day?
On an average, we serve 1,036 breakfasts a day and 2,430 lunches.
Wow.
So we're pretty busy. So that's a lot of food.
It is a lot of food. And for students that have special diets, that they have a prescription from their doctor or the appropriate documentation, you're able to provide some of that as well.
I believe we have 52 special diets. And so that is all housed in the central kitchen, but each individual kitchen knows the kiddos in their building that have a special diet and are responsible for making sure that they have what they need to accommodate those kiddos. So I think the ladies do a really super job on that. We have a lot more special diets than we did 34 years ago when I started.
Absolutely. Parents and students appreciate that too. Well, then also fresh fruits and vegetables. There's more access to that. Just thinking about the changes over the last 10 or however many years, kids have more access to fresh fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, that pretty much changed with Mrs. Obama's Healthy Hunger Free Kids Act. That was something that was really good that came out of it. And at first, the kids were a little hesitant. I don't think a lot of them were used to having fresh broccoli or, kiwi or something that they didn't see, but they eat that so well. I mean, that's been a great thing. So they definitely eat it all now for sure.
They love that. So where does the district receive food from and how often?
We receive food from EVCO pretty much daily. That's our vendor here in Emporia. We also receive food from Cisco 3 times a week. F&A Foods is out of Concordia, and we receive that once a week. And then Bimbo Bakeries is our bread supplier.
Awesome. So just thinking about the number of breakfasts and the lunches that are served every day, how do you know how much food to prepare each day?
Well, at the elementaries, we take a lunch count. So that makes it easy for them. But at the high school and middle school, it's basically we just have good documentation, good record keeping, and it's historical data. Pretty much if you served 1,500 servings of Crispitos at the high school, that's going to be pretty close to the next time too.
And kids love Crispitos.
Yes, they do.
How do free and reduced meals help our school district?
Well, they help our school district by helping, with the funding for the district, as well as definitely help our families and our students. I would encourage anybody to fill out a free and reduced form at any time. They can be filled out anytime during the school year. Anytime you have a change in circumstances, fill one out. You never know. And something that I don't think a lot of people know, which is that we're reimbursed by the government for every single meal, even our full pay students. That's why there's the difference in an adult meal costs more than a student meal. I did write down some of those numbers. We are reimbursed 47 cents for each full pay student meal we serve, $3.63 for a reduced meal, and $4.03 for every free student meal. So that's definitely helps our district out.
It all adds up.
Yes, it really does.
So what would happen if we were not able to serve a reimbursable meal?
Well, if we weren't able to serve a reimbursable meal, then we would not be able to claim it. So we would not be able to file our claim with the government or the state. The school district would have to pay that cost.
So, talking about the requirements early on, when we first started, you talked about certain requirements. So, what are just some basic requirements for a meal?
Well, every day we have to follow a meal pattern. When you're making your menu, you kind of look at it on a week to week basis. And like, let's say high school, they have to have 5 cups of fruit and vegetables. So we offer a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, but they have to at least take 1 cup. So it could be half a cup of fruit, a half a cup of vegetable, but they can take as much as they want, and a lot of them do. It's 2.5 per week for K8, for 6, 8, and yes, and same as K5.
And those are the grade levels. So, kindergarten through 5th or 6th grade through 8th grade,
Yes.
which I'm referencing.
Yes. And so we have to break everything down. We have to look and make sure we're serving beans and legumes once a week. We have to do a red, orange vegetables, leafy greens. So that's why you see, the broccoli, the romaine lettuce, the garden salad. 'Cause the garden salad has a lot of spinach in it, so it's the dark green. So
Awesome. So, we're also looking for opportunities to be able to promote what positions we have available. So, what jobs are available in the food service department? And you
Well-
might even talk about hours too.
Well, this is a really great job to work if you have students in school, because we have positions that are 9 months out of the year. And so when your kids are in school, you work. And if the kids have a day off from school, you don't have to work. We do have opportunities if you want to work, but you don't have to work. We are looking for cooks. We are looking for people to work in our bakery. We would love to get our salad bar back up and going. We would love to get our catering business back up and going. And we definitely are looking for summer help.
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because I was also thinking to talk a little bit about the summer feeding program. So, just talk a little bit about that.
The summer feeding program it's just such a nice thing that we're allowed to do for our community. Any student can walk into one of our buildings that we're operating in, and they 1 to 18, and get a free lunch, no questions asked. And so in the past few years, because of COVID, they've been non-congregant, so you've been able to pick them up. We're still waiting on guidance from USDA to come down, so we know how we'll be feeding this summer. But I think it's just such a nice opportunity. It's just in the summertime, you just can pop by school, get a breakfast, go home, or pop back by school for lunch, and mom doesn't have to worry about it. And it's a win-win for our families and for our students. And it's a good, nutritious meal. So lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. So
something that maybe the community doesn't realize maybe is that we really, because of the number of students that we have that really count on those meals, those families that count on the meals, maybe parents are working 2, 3 jobs to pay the bills, that they really rely on the food service to be able to have a meal for breakfast and a lunch.
Absolutely. And we want them to take advantage of it. So we look forward to seeing them. We enjoy their little faces coming in, and it's fun to see them in the summertime, just enjoying playing on the playground as well.
Well, and part of it, we've been very lucky at this point not to have any inclement weather, but that's part of our motivation, is that if we are able to have school, getting kids into a warm building and making sure that they have food that they can eat for breakfast and lunch is one of our motivations to make sure that we're keeping schools open.
Yes, and it definitely helps our families too.
So Denise, what do you love most about your position?
I love the kids. That's why I do it. So I try to base all of my decisions on how I would want somebody to treat my kids or my grandkids. So it's just, and I love my ladies. I have the best staff, and they truly love their jobs. So that makes it all worthwhile.
Look forward to coming to work every day.
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Well, thank you both. Dan, thank you very much. Denise, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. And we're happy to have you at Emporia Public Schools.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.